This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And yes, folks, my trusty kitty is over there just peeking around the pillow over there. Yeah, Skittles does not want to be on camera. He knows I'll put him on camera. Oh well. Folks, we are in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada on this October 22nd fall day. And folks, I am a co-producer on 13 Fanboy, and it is being released today. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I just don't know when that will be because I'm not set up for streaming. And so I'll get the Blu-ray when it's ready. I wish it was coming to a theater near me. But you know what? That's not going to stop me from promoting it at Frightmare in the Falls next weekend, which CJ Graham will be at because, well, we're both involved with this movie. But I do have a guest on the show today, one of the 13 Fanboy backers with a creature from the Black Lagoon poster behind him there framed. Yes. Folks, I give you the awesome Brian. I'm going to try to get this right. Papandrea? Did I screw that up? Say your last name for me. So
Papandrea or Papandrea or Papandreas. You pick, however you want to say it. You did pretty good though.
I've never seen that last name before, and I don't like botching names, but
it's like Andrea with a pap in front of it. That's
Papandrea.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. What kind of name is that?
I hope it's Italian, but a lot of people tell me it's Greek. But my whole family says it's Italian.
It's all Greek to me.
Right on. So we'll just say it's Italian.
I gotta say, I like that thing in your background, that door piece. Is that beads?
Oh yeah, it's a bead curtain.
I like that. That is cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
My wife is very into the 60s, so we have a lot of decor around here.
You know what? I missed the 60s by 3 years. I was born in 1972, so
the 70s are cool though. I love the 70s.
70s are cool, but you know what? 60s are cool too. A lot of great movies released in the 60s, beginning with Psycho in 1960 and ending with Midnight Cowboy in 1969. So I mean, it was just, I've interviewed a lot of people from films from the 60s. It's always nice to capture that, but yeah, the 60s were great. I wish I could verify it, but I'm just taking a guess.
As long as you appreciate it, that's all that matters, really.
Oh yeah, well, that's one of the great things about cinema. You can see something captured there right on screen, and it's authentic. It's this, like I just mentioned, Midnight Cowboy. That is just completely 1969 New York, or 68 when it was filmed. It just, you're seeing it right there. It's not digital, it's not special effects. I like that how film can just capture that, and you get that. So
that's a movie I've been meaning to rewatch. I haven't seen it in several years, but I actually thought about that the other week, that I need to. It's not in my collection. I have a big collection, but
I've got it.
Cowboy is not. So I need to seek it out, purchase it, and then just have a whole viewing by myself.
Yeah, I've got it here on Blu-ray. I interviewed you see her very, very briefly, but the pregnant woman at the laundro mat.
Okay.
Yeah, I interviewed her, and she talked about how short Dustin Hoffman is.
Well, Get Shorty is basically about him. So
yeah,
he's the DeVito character, so I can imagine what he is in real life.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of great movies come out in the 60s, and I've been happy to celebrate a lot of them right here on the show. So it's always nice to highlight films like that and get guests on from films from the 60s, and
Yeah,
so forth.
so
But
cool.
yeah, but you know what? 13 Fanboy being released today, and I'm already having people message me and actually it was Christy Fontenot and Troy Elke have both messaged me saying, saw your picture front and center in 13 Fanboy, because my picture's in a scene with Tracy Savage.
Okay.
Yeah. And somebody had said, this is not a spoiler, but take a look at this. They sent me a still, and there's my picture covered in blood.
Great.
Yeah. I hope it don't discourage Debbie Sue or anybody like that I'm not going to be able to see it, but it's not out of ignorance or anything. First off, I prefer to see it in a theater with an audience as opposed to streaming anyway, and I think you get that.
Yeah.
I mean, if our theater can get After We Fell, then I want to see 13 Fanboy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, if our theater space is being wasted on that, then we should have 13 Fanboy. But I've definitely been promoting it, and like I said, I got Frightmare in the Falls um next weekend, and so
Oh, cool.
I'll be wearing this when I'm there.
Attaboy.
Look at
Couldn't
that. And
be
I
better.
this has
That's the
got
one.
this is the one that's got Tom Matthews on it too when he was part of it.
Oh, he's not in it after all?
No, he is. I believe it was a scheduling issue,
Oh, that's a
and
bummer.
it's a bummer because when I went to Horrorama in 2019, outside Kane Hodder, Tom Matthews get the most attention on the shirt,
Mhm.
more than Dee Wallace and more than Corey Feldman, if you can imagine that.
Oh, I
Pe-
can imagine that.
People love their Tommy Jarvis.
Now this guy wants to say hello.
Yeah.
That's Klaus Kinski.
Oh, that's a good name. Is he friendly?
He likes scritches. So,
Oh.
okay. He's a little camera shy.
You just a minute. You just a minute.
Okay, dude.
I'll see if I can get my kitty.
Yeah. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Hi, Skittles. Oh, oh. Skittles, I'm going to exploit you.
Yes. Hey, what are you doing? Look at the cat.
Skittles is saying, what the frig? Look
You
at
know
that,
him?
Key. Look at
You
that.
know him?
Look at the kitty. Kitty saying, I'm not looking. You're using me for hits. You're exploiting me.
So
There you
sweet.
go.
Oh, look at those eyes.
Kitty's eyes is saying, why? He said, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be getting views.
That's right. What a sweetheart.
Listen, Kitty, if I shake the treat bag, you'll forgive me in a heartbeat. He's saying, look, I'm not going to acknowledge that. Kitty, I work. You stay here for free. You don't pay rent. You don't even clean the place up. You make a bigger mess.
It's rude. You should be thankful. What should you? Oh, you're so bad. You're so bad.
He's
All
got a
right.
kitty. He's got a kitty. You should be thankful. Nancy Allen, when I had her on here, said she wanted to reach out and smush your little face.
Oh,
That's from the woman from Dress to Kill.
right.
Kitty says, look, you're exploiting me. Enough of this attention. I'm being exploited.
Off you go.
You watch, all I have to do is stick my pinky finger out, and he's rubbing against it. See? He knows which side of the bread his butter is on. Oh boy. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
there
this
we
could
go.
just be a cat show if you want. I'm totally fine with that.
The cat show. Well, as long as it's not cats, because that was a theater experience I'll never get back.
Yeah, I missed that one in the theater.
Oh,
I should
gee, you know what? How lucky were you to
not
miss
very
that?
lucky. Not very lucky. I saw the Predator instead, and that was a waste of my time.
That
I
was a
would
waste of
rather
your
see
time.
the cats.
I agree. It's a waste of your time. However, Cats is a bigger evil.
Wait, was it that year? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but
It don't matter.
it
Both are
was around there.
bad.
Either way.
Both are bad, but Cats was horrible.
Mm.
That was one of those films I was checking my watch probably within 10 minutes of the film. Oh
Some good
my, I
stuff.
it was an insufferable film. I like the real cats.
Yeah.
Skittles, get down. Quit checking out my Clockwork Orange art piece. Yeah, so I know what you were doing over there. I got a Clockwork Orange poster canvassed over there, and it's like, yeah, I'm up on that. No, you're not getting up on that. He's out in the kitchen now. It's like he feels insulted.
Oh,
I sometimes I boost his pride by saying you're related to the King of Beast. You're way, 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 way down the line. You might not even be on the last page, but we could assume you're related to the King of Beast.
pretty close.
Yeah, but nonetheless, it's great to have you on here today. Um, yeah, 13 Fanboy coming out today. Have you seen it yet?
No, I have not. I'll be seeing it tonight at the premiere, and I hope it's good. I'll even if it sucks, I'll lie and say it's great because it was a fun experience. A lot of good people working on it.
I don't know. I cameoed in 9 James Balsamo movies, and I got to say, out of the three I cameo, three that I've seen, I hate to say this, but two of them did suck.
Mm,
I'm glad to be part of them, but
cool.
I can be honest, but nonetheless, it's kind of fun getting involved in these things. It gives my life a little more meaning because, like I said, I got home at oh my goodness, what, 6 o'clock this morning after doing a back shift cleaning, and it's always I had 13 Fanboy in the mind. It's like, wish I could attend it, but hey, I will be showing it off at Frightmare in the Falls, and I'm going to show this off too. I got this as well.
Is that another shirt
No,
or?
it's a tote bag.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
brought
that's
this
great.
to Horrorama in 2019. I actually got something in it. It's something I just put in it, but I'll show it off because it's Friday the 13th related. And I'm happy to show this off because it's pretty awesome. I've had this guy on my show twice.
All right. Who signed it?
Can you see that?
I can see, but I don't know the signature.
That is my favorite Jason. He's been a guest twice on the show. Ted White.
Ah, very cool.
Yep. I'm a big Ted White fan from Final Chapter. He signed this too. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. See, Corey doesn't look so. Everybody keeps saying Corey Feldman's hilarious in 13 Fanboy. Doesn't look so hilarious there, does he?
He wasn't on drugs at that point.
Looks like Ted White's grabbing hold of him and saying, "You've been bothering me on set. Now
Yeah.
it's my turn." Yeah,
Yeah, that's a cool piece.
yeah. I've got a little bit of memorabilia and stuff on me here, but when I just happen to keep that in this tote bag, but I think I'm going to empty this tote bag whenever I head off to Toronto. and do Frightmare in the Falls. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that, So anyway, before I get to 13 Fanboy, I want to get a little bit of your background because you've got a few credits on IMDb, and obviously you have a love of film. You have a love of classic film. You got I respect that Creature of the Black Lagoon frame picture you got
You
poster you got behind you. So obviously you've got some taste.
some very
Yeah,
small.
yeah. Well, if you
Yeah.
had Twilight behind you, I'd be like, okay.
That's just for my bedroom
Oh,
specifically.
oh, you got the birds back there too, do you?
Yeah, that one's signed by Tippi Hedren. Um,
And Marnie, yeah.
yeah.
I got a
Yeah,
story
the book
for
signed,
you.
actually.
I've had Alfred Hitchcock's granddaughter on the show
Oh yeah.
back in 2016. She was on set for the birds. She wasn't in it, but she was on set. And it was wonderful having the granddaughter of Alfred Hitchcock on because he pretty much was responsible for me getting into film criticism and stuff because I attended a midnight screening of Psycho back in 1996. And it was the first time I attended a midnight screening. And I remember the advertisements by the students that put it on said, "Come and see the film that scared your parents."
Okay, cool.
Yep. And I've had Marley Renfro Peterson on, who was Janet Leigh's shower scene double as well. So I had her on. She was great. So a couple of Psycho things. Do you have a favorite Hitchcock film?
Uh it changes all the time. I love The Trouble with Harry. I think that one is so funny. I
What
wish
what
he did more dark comedies
what is
because
the trouble with Harry?
Trouble with Harry is basically
No, no, no. I'm kidding you.
oh, okay.
I'm asking what the trouble.
I
I know.
get you. No, a lot of people don't even realize that when they say like they're Hitchcock fans, and I bring up Trouble with Harry, and I get blank stares.
It
So
came out. It came out the same year as one of my favorite Hitchcock movies, To Catch a Thief.
okay, okay,
Mm,
cool,
yep. But I think my favorite Hitchcock movie is Rear Window.
excellent, good
Yep.
choice.
And I gotta say, has there ever been a woman as gorgeous as Grace Kelly?
Right,
Oh boy.
yeah, that one's magnificent. So much of his stuff is amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just you can't pick a favorite. It's impossible.
Well, when I had
Frenzy is amazing too. And
Frenzy come out the year I was born.
did it really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
1972.
That does
Yep.
not get enough credit, but it is fantastic.
I really like the villain of that film, especially the scene the behind in the back of the potato truck.
Huh.
Stuff like that is so awesome. Yeah. Um,
And the
no,
lead actor is from Polanski's Macbeth, which is one of my favorites by his.
I like
But
a
yeah,
lot of
check it
Polanski
out.
films as well. I love Repulsion. I love
Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby, Chinatown. I actually was one of the last to interview Ernest Harada from Rosemary's Baby before he passed. He was the Asian fella taking pictures at the
Yeah,
end of
yeah,
the
yeah.
film. Yep.
Saying hair Satan,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
actually in the book too. So that's not just being um,
Hmm.
racist. So you can
Yeah.
say that.
But he was great to talk to. He was living in Hawaii when I was talking to him, so that was pretty cool. Great
Wow.
guy. I'm glad I got him when I did. I had Bruce Glover on for Chinatown.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was great to talk to. Um, Even some of Polanski's less known stuff, like Ninth Gate, I really
I
enjoyed.
love the Ninth Gate.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater, and you could
Me too.
almost play it double billed with Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's almost like it's that movie is Polanski's greatest hits in a way
Mm-hmm.
'cause it has similar themes throughout his whole career, and then his now wife is in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's fantastic in the movie.
Yep.
Going back to Repulsion, that movie, well, that and The Tenant, inspired me to write my last movie that I produced and directed called Feaster Sunday. And just like the tone of the movie, kind of the style as well. I would have loved to shoot my movie on 16 millimeter film, but that wasn't possible for budgetary purposes. But yeah, early Polanski stuff was a big inspiration for me.
I love Repulsion. I got that here on Blu-ray, trying to get somebody who's alive from that film on the show. I'm having a hard time with that, but
Yeah, there's just Catherine.
Catherine Deneuve is, and there's
Mhm.
I know there's another actor,
Oh,
one of the friends of the guy that liked her.
okay.
He's
Oh, in the
still,
bar scene.
yeah, the guy with the glasses. He's still alive. I've reached out on Facebook, but Facebook filters so many messages that sometimes people don't see them until a long time. Um, so I don't know, and I don't know. I could check to see if there's anybody else around. I don't know what my chances are of getting Catherine Deneuve on here. I wouldn't mind. I think that'd be cool because she was
Could
in
at least try. Yeah,
Belle
that'd
de
be
Jour, you know.
right.
So, but Repulsion is great, and yeah, the Tenant as well. I don't have that here on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's on Blu-ray yet.
Yeah, Shout Factory released it
Oh, did
last year,
they?
I want to say.
It's been
Uh,
a while since I've seen it, but I remember liking it because I remember Repulsion, Rosemary's Baby, and The Tenant are his apartment trilogy, as they
yeah,
call it. Yeah.
definitely.
So yeah, Polanski's done a lot of terrific films. So I love the look of them and stuff like that. We talked about the 60s, Rosemary's Baby, you know, just beautiful shots of 60s atmosphere right
Oh yeah.
there, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you got great taste, man. You got
Oh,
great
thanks.
taste. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
the 60s.
it's always nice to go back and dig in and try to get people from these movies on. And if somebody's passed away, I do tribute interviews, and I did that with Hitchcock, you know. So I remember with his granddaughter, Terry Karuba. He's got three granddaughters. I managed to connect with one of them. We did a game where we had our top five favorite Hitchcock films. And we went from five to one, you know. And the only film each of us had in common was Psycho, and
Yeah.
it was number three for both of us, you know.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yeah, it was fascinating talking to her about this and hearing about what the master of cinema was like as a person, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was fun, and so I've done that, and I've enjoyed that, and so and of course the creature of the Black Lagoon. I guess out of the all of the um, classic monsters, I guess the guy in that costume's still with us.
Yeah.
I would
Uh,
love to get him on too. It's just a matter of tracking them.
mhm.
Yep.
I
It
think he's
can.
living in Florida, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, sometimes these older movies, it's hard to catch people who are actually living, you know.
Yeah.
Rear Window, for example, for Hitchcock, I think there might be one actor still alive from it, and it's the guy that shows up to Miss Lonely Heart's apartment and she rejects him when he comes on to her.
Yeah.
He's in his 90s, and that can be tricky because some people in their 90s are uh, memory is not the best, you know. But then sometimes you get people like Ted White, who's in his mid 90s and he's sharp as a tack, you know.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So I never let that deter me, you know, and having people on. Like I have William Daniels on from The Graduate, who played Dustin Hoffman's dad in that film, and
Wow.
he was 92 when I interviewed him, and again had a great chat with him. So yeah, so you know, always depends, and sometimes they'll have somebody come on with them in case their details are phasey, but I've had some fun with this. And now you mentioned Repulsion and Tenet. You directed a film.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a minute before we get to um before we get to let me see. Feast or Sunday. No, I'm going to click on that. We'll give you a little promotion. Oh, I love that poster.
Oh yeah.
What a
That poster
great
was made
poster.
by Hag Cult. She is just a fantastic artist. I think everybody should look into her.
Oh wow. And you directed this. Now what's it like getting behind the camera? What was it like doing that even for the first time?
Technically, that wasn't my first
I
time,
know,
but
you got some other credits, but
but
we'll start with this. Yeah.
it's an absolute nightmare to direct and act at the same time. Also writing the script. I don't know why people think they can do it. I certainly could
Woody
not.
Allen did it.
Woody Allen is a special breed. We all know that. But it was it was it was very good to direct my actors in the scene while directing, or while being in the movie. But as far as setting up the camera and trying to talk to the director of photography, that was kind of a nightmare. I wish I would have had, now I know, to always have an assistant director with you, just to relay your thoughts to the camera guy and to the actors so that everybody's on the same page. We kind of had like a miscommunication throughout filming, but it was very hectic. I'm grateful that it all came together. Personally, I think it's my best work, that movie. And I think everybody should check it out if you get a chance. It's called
That's
Feast
good.
or Sunday.
Feast or Sunday. Okay, tell people what it's about.
Okay.
I mean, I do have the synopsis, but this is an interview with you. I want you to tell people.
So there's an actor portraying Jesus in a Passion Play community theater.
Mm-hmm.
He gets fired and then massacres the entire audience and cast. Then we cut to
Okay.
20 years later, and yeah, they are reigniting the Passion Play at the same theater, and basically one by one, the actors start disappearing. And there's
Okay.
also a guy who makes his own puppet show. And that's all I can say about it. Otherwise, it's full of spoilers.
It's interesting you say that because last night I interviewed somebody that operated puppets in some of the Muppets movies and Willy's Wonderland. He operated the ostrich.
Okay,
Speaking
cool.
of puppets, yeah,
Yeah, very cool.
yeah. You
So,
got another one, the Big F. Do I
yes,
dare say what F stands for? I'm sure it's supposed to be Bigfoot, but it could be taken for something else.
it can be anything you want it to be.
It
But
could be a porno for the F part.
a lot of movies that I've made have very pornographic names in the titles. So, uh,
Nothing wrong with that.
hey, they
Get grab.
sell. They're fun.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
they're basically all horror comedies. I was really big into sketch and improv comedy a decade ago, and I did a lot of stage work, weekend improv shows, bar prov shit. Then I left the theater and I started making independent films,
okay.
and that's my life. That's why I'm poor.
Well, you're on the same level as me, so you know
You gotta
I
love what you do.
you gotta love what you do. I'm seeing another film here. Uh, I love this title. Okay, before we get 13 fam, this title jumped out at me.
Mhm.
Amityville Vibrator.
Oh, that's my friend's movie. He I'm only a voice in
Yeah,
that
you
fictional
voice
project.
Spanky.
Yep, I'm a puppet in that, ironically. He also directed the movie Fang Boner, which was in my company, and Gave for Prey: The Erotic Adventures of Jesus Christ, which I played Jesus in, but not porn.
Okay.
Amityville might be pornographic, but
No,
it's not mine to say.
that's not a family-friendly film.
I mean, families can watch it, friendly about it, but I don't
Wonder if
recommend it.
Skittles is around, wants to watch that, you know? Skittles is probably still hiding after I exploited him on it. Look, I need hits, you understand that.
Yeah.
That's what we have cats for. Give us hits on YouTube.
Yeah, my cat's in one of my movies as well. He steals the show.
Yeah? Do you have to give them residuals?
Yeah, pellets. Lots of pellets every day.
Well, how did you get involved with 13 Fanboy? Talk about your initial involvement in that.
Um, Joel is a pretty decent friend of mine, I guess I could say. We met on a movie about 10, 11 years ago. It was an Aaron Paul movie being shot in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Daniels was in it, a bunch of other people, but Aaron Paul was like the breakout star from Breaking Bad. So
Mm-hmm.
him and I got cast as featured extras in all of his Aaron Paul scenes. So I think the movie got released. I know it got shelved and under different titles and whatnot, but if you ever did see the movie, Joel and I are in the background next to him in any bar scene, as far as I know. So we came and kept in contact throughout the years, Facebook and whatnot. And he went to a couple improv shows that I was in, and then he cast me in one of his movies called Trafficked. Uh,
Okay, I had Joel on back in January, so I'm familiar.
okay,
I'm
yeah,
familiar with Traffic.
yeah, Dean Kane, and I had some scenes with Christy Swanson as well, who was a huge childhood crush of mine, as well
What
as
was that
others.
like? Let's just stop and
Oh, let's
pause
talk
there.
about that.
Let's
Uh,
talk about that. What's it like meeting one of your childhood crushes? Come on.
well, you gotta be professional, of course, which I was, and then had a little smoke break outside, and I
Mm-hmm.
heard the door close, and there in front of me is Christy Swanson, who's also having a cigarette. And I don't even know what came out of my mouth. She said something about the flowers being pretty this time of year, and I said, "Yeah, flowers, fucking just diarrhea came out of my mouth." But she was so sweet, and we talked about Wes Craven for like 7 minutes until they called her back in. So totally
I would have
geeked out
said
in my face.
yeah, flowers are pretty, not as pretty as you.
Blah. Yeah, who knows what came out of my mouth, but
I
I
would
was
have said that. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Christy
anyways, so
Swanson.
that movie happened, and then Joel messaged me uh July of 2019 after they
Hmm.
were halfway into filming, and asked if I could come down for a day to New Mexico and just film a scene. Um, he got me in contact with Deborah Voorhees, and she saw my reel and said, "Yeah, come on down. We'll put you in." I play a janitor, so I have like
So does Christopher Norris.
I-
Do you end up like him? Because I heard he ends up in a very bad predicament.
oh, well, I don't know. I'll have to see the movie. Maybe I'm dead. We'll see.
Well, you have to be alive. Your cat depends on you.
That's true.
Yes, yes.
Oh, he would just
Because
eat my rotting corpse. He doesn't care. As long
as
as he
long
gets to bed.
as long as he doesn't touch that creature of the Black Lagoon picture, you're good, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah.
As
uh,
I'd rather
Yeah.
have not touched my Chaplin poster. That's why I kept it high up back there.
Do you have a favorite Chaplin movie?
Oh, they're all my favorite. City Lights
Yep.
is probably the best,
Yep.
in my opinion, because that movie makes me cry every
You
time.
want me to tell you what the brilliance of City Lights is, when he goes through all this trouble to help this blind girl. And I love it when there comes a point in the movie like where her sight is restored.
Yeah, this is the
And
very end scene.
yeah, and she's trying to give flowers to this little tramp.
Hmm.
Of course, there's Chaplin's character, and he's kind of backing away because you see, she can see him, and now he's like kind of, because she always believed this guy was wealthy,
Yeah,
but he went through a lot to get her that money to help her out, but she doesn't know anything about it. And at some point, she reaches out and grabs his hand, and you just see that moment of realization, and he's got this look on his face, gets his hand up by his mouth, and
right.
she said, and this is the first time in a silent movie that I can recall where words on the screen were not just subtitles. The words on the screen meant more than that. Said, I can see now. She now knows who helped her, and I think she knows the extent of the sacrifice.
Hmm.
I
It's
think
perfect.
City Lights is brilliant.
I didn't know why anybody tried to make movies after City Lights came out because it's perfect. Nobody needs to make any more movies.
I don't know. I
Hollywood
mean,
should close down.
well, Tommy Wiseau did make The Room. Come on.
Thank God. There is, there is some light after all.
There you go. See, keep it on the upbeat. I'm trying to convince Debbie Sue to bring Tommy Wiseau in for the sequel to 13 Fanboy.
Oh wow,
What do you think?
would that be something? I don't know if they
Yeah,
could afford him, to be honest.
they could bring him in, and they could bring in Neil Breen.
Yeah. Oh no, the
Can you
world will
see? Can,
explode if the two of them are on screen together. Nobody's ready for that shit.
you could have Tommy Wiseau during one of the murder scenes saying, "You're tearing me apart.
Uh huh.
You're
And then just
tearing
have
me
Neil
apart,
Breen throwing
Fanboy."
books at him.
Neil Breen would be like, he'd find one of the bodies, goes, I can't believe you committed suicide. I can't believe you committed suicide. You committed suicide. I can't believe it. There's no way I can help you out of this one.
That's a good Neil Breen.
I got to admit, my brother and I will watch these movies. Like Tommy Wiseau was my first interview guest. So, as bad as The Rib is, I kind of hold it a little dear for that. But, I'm honored that he was my first guest. But, um, Neil Breen, for all of his limitations, he doesn't fail to entertain,
No,
So
that's true.
yeah, so yeah, we gotta get Debbie Sue to bring them into the sequel. Could you imagine?
I don't even want to think about that. I think my eyes would start bleeding.
It's like, Dee Wallace, here's your co-star for Fanboy 2. Brings in Neil Breen. Anyway, no, I got on as a I'll give you my backstory for this movie. I've had Debbie Sue Voorhees on here 4 times on the show, and I think it was the third interview she had sprung this project. And I've said before to other people, I don't know if mine was the first show she announced it. I'm not going to take credit for that, but I bet you I was one of the first. And she started listing the names off of people that was going to be in it, and I was kind of listening, and I wasn't really decided whether I was going to become involved. And but once she mentioned Tracy Savage, you want to talk about childhood crushes?
Uh huh.
Well, moment Tracy Savage's name was mentioned, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna pour some cash into this. And I've had Tracy Savage on here a couple times, and I've said to her, I said, "You know how much money I poured into this film because of you?" But yeah, making her feel good. I've often said regarding the Friday the 13th movies, I don't care about Jason. I think I had a favorite female in every one of them. Like I will look at the flowers in the movie.
Hmm.
And Tracy Savage was one of the most beautiful flowers in the movies in the series. So I got involved that way. So when people say thank me for getting involved with the film, I say, well, you're welcome, but really should thank Tracy Savage because she kind of, in a way, was responsible for me. I probably would have gotten my name in it, but probably not to a co-producer level. So because my names could be at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie. And then, of course, when I found out that I could get my picture in a scene with her, well, there was more money.
You had to do it.
Yeah, I had to have my picture in a scene with her. It makes me look good.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was how I got involved, and I don't know how many people now I've interviewed from 13 Fanboy. Last check was 18 until this week. Until this week.
Cool.
I put a post on there, and I wanted to give voice to people that don't necessarily get to speak a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did that because you're like what, five or six people that's responded to that, and it's like I love the stories I'm getting. Look, I would have never known about Feaster Sunday if I didn't have you come on here.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So I'm liking that. So I had Joel on here. Were you there the day that he stepped on the nail?
No,
Yeah, he
I don't know
said
anything
that
about
they,
that.
and it wasn't on set. It was just somewhere, I don't know where he was walking, but it wasn't on set, but it was just some place where something was half buried in the ground or something. He just happened to step on it, and he told the story that one of the females, he said, did not mention who it was, told him he should take his shoe off before he takes the nail out. And he's like, the shoe was nailed to my foot.
Jesus.
I said to Joel, I said, did you get that in the behind the scenes? He said, no. I'm like, darn.
Mhm.
But
That's real gore.
that's real gore.
It-
That's right. That's right. But nonetheless,
Stop.
you got on set for that. So, and you get to play a janitor. Were you in a scene with were you in the same area as Christopher Norris, or are you in a janitor in a different scene than him?
Uh, Different scene altogether.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I've had Christopher on here a couple times.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Um, okay. We'll talk about first arriving on set, and who did you first meet when you get there? And if it was Debbie Sue, talk about your impressions of first meeting her.
So when I flew in, I probably got there to New Mexico around 9 p.m. And then it was a 2 hour drive to the location.
Hmm.
Fell asleep immediately, and then we had to wake up at 2:30 a.m. to be on set. And it was at like a fitness center, health spa deal. So that was all in the morning. And I met Deborah Voorhees, and immediately she was disappointed with me because I didn't have facial hair. And in my reel, she saw a scene where I played Jesus and I had a full beard, obviously. Um, so I think she was expecting a guy with a beard, and I'm sorry I let her down. But
Well,
she was great to work with, of course. Um, I don't remember a lot because I was exhausted.
hmm
We shot for a good 4 hours of me mopping and having my dialogue and whatnot.
hmm
But then we wrapped around like 2 or 3. We had the rest of the day, and Joel took me to the sand dunes out in New Mexico, the White Sand National Park, whatnot.
hmm
That was pretty rad. Took a bunch of pictures, slid down sand dunes, and
Did you see elk?
they promised me elk. I didn't see a single elk. There was a
Oh,
lot of
Joel
deer.
did.
Joel is a fucking liar because I didn't see one single elk. Tell you that. And
I think he was the
I
one.
remind him that every time I see him, that he keeps on talking about these amazing elk. I didn't see one. So
Well, he
can't love
talked to
it.
me about all the elk he saw when I
I think he
interviewed
saw
him.
some elk in his mind. I didn't see any. There was a lot of green chili everywhere. Like at fast food joints, they just put green chili on their burgers. It's delicious. So
Okay,
I recommend if you're ever in New Mexico, have a burger with some green chili on it. That was my takeaway.
New
Oh, and I drank
Mexico.
a lot of whiskey when I was there, so
Yeah.
that was fun.
Did you see Jesse the Body Ventura when you were in New Mexico?
Did I? No, I did not. That
He
would have
should have
been
been in 13 Fanboy.
yeah.
Yeah, he would have laid the law down.
I remember
um,
watching The French Connection on my plane ride, so that was
I
definitely
love the French Connection.
oh, that's one of my favorites.
I interviewed one of the real investigators from that real case, and
Yeah,
he's in the movie.
the real
They
Popeye.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the real Popeye.
Okay.
This bugs me that why the name is escaping me. My 2020 interviews, I haven't got up on YouTube yet because that was when I was at the station doing this by phone, and the big problem is that I don't know how to upload these things and put them online, and so my younger brother, who's more tech savvy than me, he does that stuff. So let me see, 2020. I'm gonna look through my list here because I want to give this guy credit. And I have, let me see. Okay, Randy Jurgensen. That's it.
I just met him. Literally, I have his card right here.
There you
Um,
go.
he's the guy. I had him sign something from cruising. He's the guy who
I've got
inspired
that here
cruising.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a
Uh,
feeling you were gonna say that name, and it's literally right up there.
you want me to
Really
tell you
cool
what
guy.
bugs me is his son has reached out about a year ago asking me if about the interview if it's and unfortunately like I said my brother's been busy taking care of her parents because they're terminally ill, and so he hasn't had time to get them ready for YouTube, and I don't know anything about that. So these ones here, doing them on Zoom, I can do that. But and the only reason I'm on Zoom is because the station went into lockdown.
Mm.
And I think Randy Jurgensen, I think, was my second last interview I did before lockdown. And
Oh,
I did my last interview was in March 18th, 2020. And we went into lockdown, and I had about 20 people waiting to come on my show. And I had no way. I went the rest of the year. Like I said, worked as a cleaner. So I worked through the pandemic, but I was miserable because I wanted to keep doing this.
Hmm.
Nancy McLaughlin from Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, was the one that said to me, if she can do Zoom, I can do Zoom. So I got my brother to hook me up with Zoom. And I gotta say, speaking of 13th Fanboy, I gotta give a shout out to Carrie Yates, because I had an interview all ready to go for January 4th. And I made an announcement on Facebook that I was going to test the waters of my first interview on Zoom, and she asked me if she wanted her to help me test it. And it's a good thing she did, because I really didn't know what I was doing. And I said, hey, you want to be my first guest of the year? And there you go. So Carrie Yates, of course, in the UK, one of 13 Fanboys, beloved backers. But yeah, that's my Randy Jurgensen story. I'd like to get that up. I feel so bad I haven't been able to get that out to them either, but nothing could be done about it right now because I'm not tech savvy. So, but it was a great interview, and I've got French Connection and I've got Cruising both here. And I got The Exorcist. I got some William Friedkin stuff here. So, yep.
He's the
But
best.
yep. But what was it like working with Debbie Sue Voorhees as a director?
From what I remember, it was great. Uh, yeah, nothing too crazy really. It was she seemed like she knew what she was doing. She knew what she wanted. Great communication between the actors and the all the crew behind the camera, and she seemed to get a lot of respect from everybody. So, you can't
Okay.
ask for much more.
Who did you work with anybody in the scene, or were you just
Yeah, the main actress, we had some dialogue together, but that was about it. There was a bunch of extras as well, because it was like I said, a health spa. She was doing like a class.
was it Haley Greenbauer?
What?
Was it Haley Greenbauer?
Yes, yes.
I've had her on here. I got to get her on here again too. I had her on back in 2019, I believe. So,
Okay.
yep, yep. What was like working with her?
It was fantastic. Uh, did our scene a few different times, and I don't know if it was her or if it was the Deborah who said that I look really creepy. So that's a plus, as my character was supposed to be creepy.
Something that you don't want to hear on a date.
Unless that's your kink, but normally not.
Well, you do have a Creature of a Black Lagoon picture there in the background, so that could be giving something away.
Well, that's just a ridiculous love story. I'm a
There you
sucker
go.
for those rom-coms. Feaster Sunday is a kind of romantic comedy as well.
Well, that's what they say about Twilight, but I just don't get it.
Again, it's in my bedroom, so you'll have to check
I
that.
do not want to see that. Do not want to see that. No sparkly vampires or shirtless werewolves
That's fair.
here.
That's
The
not your
only
thing.
were the only werewolf we need to see is Troyelke, and that's different. So, how long did you stay there and on the set?
Well, 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
The first night upon arrival, and then the second night after the dunes. Got nice and whiskey drunk, and
Mm-hmm.
then the next morning, I came to the set, and Lark was there about to shoot her scene.
Lar Park Lincoln.
Yes, Lar Park Lincoln was there. I'm trying to remember this, and I didn't know how long I was going to stay, so I had to get a quick selfie with her. And she had just gotten her tea, but she was sweet enough to take a photo with a certain fanboy like me.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
had Lar on here
and then I
before.
was out. I was back on the plane. Got a couple bottles of Jameson to take with me, and I was off back home. So
Now, who took you? Was it Joel or was it Jason Bradford take you back to the airport?
neither. I forgot who was in the car. It was one of Deborah's assistants that I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I know Jason Bradford did a lot of it because he told some very funny stories about doing that 2-hour trip to the airport with Jennifer Bonko and her dad. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
those stories were priceless. But so you didn't meet anybody else from the movie there.
No.
Well, I'm glad you get to meet Lar. So how lovely was Lar in person?
Oh, just wonderful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. You didn't share a tea with her?
No, I would have loved to. It would have been great, but
I'm
maybe next.
more, yeah, I'm more of a tea drinker than a coffee drinker. So
Yeah.
I heard the craft services was good on that set. What do you recall?
I remember that morning there was a nice buffet spread. Uh, that's all I remember. That's about it. I think we had subs when I shot my main scene.
You had
Is
too
this
much whiskey, didn't
fascinating?
you?
What?
You had too much whiskey, didn't you?
Like last night? Yeah.
No, no, whenever you were on set. I don't
Yeah.
remember what we had to eat. I know what I had to drink.
Oh, I always remember the whiskeys.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Somebody had a bottle of Jameson that they weren't even drinking there, so I had to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to go to waste. I don't want it to go bad.
No, well, no, of course not. So you're going to a premiere screening tonight.
Yeah, my hometown of Royal Oak, Michigan tonight. Do not bite. That's bad. He's hungry. He's hungry and he's pissed off.
Oh, gee, my kitty doesn't do that. My kitty's over there sitting on top of a box, licking himself, cleaning himself up because I messed his hair up when I exploited him on here.
What a life, huh?
But oh, yeah, he looks about as impressed as my cat when I was at him on here.
Just give him a good brush.
Yeah, give
This
him a
is his
good
birthday
brush.
present, a brand new brush.
Brand new brush.
Loves it.
There
I brush him twice a day. That's why he's so soft. Isn't that right? Hmm?
you go. Cat, I love cats. Of course, I call myself the Python, but I still love cats.
There you go.
What was I going to say? I almost oh yeah, Michigan. So you must. Well, Jason Bradford lives in Michigan.
Does he?
Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't know that. Obviously, Joel does.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So is any of them going to be at the screening?
well, Joel will. I would assume if Jason lives here, then he should.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know who I'm gonna see.
Well,
Looking forward to it though.
I wish I could see it on the big screen. I don't have. I'm not set up for streaming, and part of me is kind of like I make the analogy like this. It's fun to listen to a CD, but it's always nice. But you always remember when you see the band live.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you remember when you see movies at theater. If you bring up a movie, you'll somebody say, "Ah, I saw that at theater." You know,
Yeah.
I seen, for example, I must have seen half of the Friday the 13th franchise on the big screen. Not all upon their release, but I've seen Part 7, The New Blood, when it premiered in 1988.
Oh,
An
cool.
old Twin Cinemas, what's no longer open. I remember a guy dressed up as Jason ripping the tickets.
Mhm.
I saw Jason X when it premiered here, and that movie sucked.
Oh, that movie's so much fun. What are you talking about? That whole simulation is worth the price of admission.
Look, I like Lisa Ryder in it. My praise stops there, you know.
Okay, it's not for everybody. I loved it. I thought it was so much
I call it the room of the franchise.
fun. That's high praise.
Oh man. I saw that in the theater and you'd think we were watching a comedy. People just laughed at it, you know, and I'm like, yeah. I saw Freddy versus Jason when it came up and realized that Ronnie Yu was the wrong guy to be directing that, especially if he hadn't seen part 4 and 6.
Mm,
Um, I saw the reboot in the theater, and I don't look at the reboot as a reboot. I look at it as a sequel, and I'll tell you why. If Jason's mask is destroyed at you could even insert it at the end of Manhattan if you want to, because you never know where in the timeline Jason goes to hell comes in. But if his mask is destroyed, what's he do? He's going to go back to Sackhead. He's going to
yeah.
go back to what's familiar, Sackhead. But I noticed when the doper pulls the sack mask off his face and Jason kills this guy, he goes to pick the sack up, but he sees a hockey mask. And it's almost like he recognizes it. That's my interpretation of it.
Okay.
That's kind of how I like to look at the reboot, and allows me to like it better.
Maybe appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I that's where the praise ends because that movie is filled with trouble.
Yeah.
Yep. Outside that, I saw the original at a midnight screening, but the best Friday the 13th screening I've been to was when I was in Toronto for Horrorama 2019. And a theater called Drunken Cinema, if you can imagine that, was
I have an
putting
idea.
was put well, I don't drink, but this was my first experience going to the Deja Vu Theater. They're putting on Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And we were given glow sticks, and you're supposed to you get these cards, and when it says something on it, when that thing happens in the movie, originally you're supposed to take a shot, but they had it now so that if you don't drink, you can wave your glow stick. Well, my card said anytime fog and rain is on screen, you wave your glow stick. And I'm like, I'll be waving my glow stick the entire movie.
Maybe that's what they wanted.
Yeah, but that was the best Friday the 13th screening I attended. The band Blood Opera performed at the beginning of it, and that was fun. They even wrote a song for 13 Fanboy, which unfortunately Debbie Sue, I don't think she used it. But Sean Clark liked the song that they wrote called Fanboy, and I'm going to be seeing them when I go to Frightmare. But here's the thing, getting back to my point, I've seen Jason Lives many times on disc, on home video.
Mm,
Seeing it at in Toronto on the theater with an audience, whole different ballpark. So my argument with 13 Fanboy is that if I have a choice between streaming it and seeing it at the theater, I want to see it at the theater with an audience. I saw Halloween Kills last week. I didn't watch it on Peacock. I went to the theater and saw it because I wanted to experience it, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it's if people want to stay, like my brother don't like going out, so he'd probably be prefer to watch something streaming as opposed to and I don't know. I might see if he can I don't know what services they have their apartment, but I might see if they could get 13 Fanboy. And of course I got a heavy work schedule tonight, but it's kind of tempting if I could, but I don't know. I have a feeling I probably won't see it until Blu-ray comes out. So, but I'm not saying that to be ignorant, but I am still going to promote it at Frightmare. So,
Right on.
yeah, I'm
Cool.
still walking the trails on that. But But I know 13 Fanboy does have a convention scene in it. Have you done the conventions?
Oh yeah.
I've done 3 Horror-Ramas, 1 Comic Con, and I'm about to do my Frightmare in the Falls. I've told this story many times on here. I've lived here in New Brunswick, Canada my whole life. I'm 49 years old, and I never had any desire to travel, none. And I always got homesick if I traveled even the next city over, you know. Um, and what had happened is I had interviewed an actress, Lisa Langlois from class of 1984. And she's been on my show a couple times, and we got talking about travel. And she asked what was stopping me. And she invited me to assist her at her table at Horrorama, and I could not say no to that. Because class of 1984, I knew about that since the 80s, you know. I'm like, I like that movie. Yeah. She played Patsy, and I was like, I gotta do this. This is not just going to a con, this is being at somebody's table. So, and she and I are now good friends. I'm actually going, she's not going to be at Frightmare, but we are going to connect when I go down to Toronto. So, I'm looking forward to seeing her,
Very
especially
cool.
after a 2-year stint of pandemic, you know. But that I got the bug. It's funny, I wasn't homesick when I went to Toronto. I can't figure that out, but I'm not complaining. But I got the bug, and I'll tell you, the horror community is so cool. Is so cool.
Yeah.
So I would like to hear your experiences at cons.
Well, I usually have a table. I've done Cinema Wasteland, which my movies screen there a bunch. Every time I have a new release, they'll screen it there. And
Does your
that's
does your cat join you?
no, he does not. He doesn't like to travel. Uh, Recently, I did Days of the Dead and Flashback over the summer, and both conventions were amazing, amazing experiences too. A lot of people who didn't know of me were just taking a chance and buying one of my movies just because I was an indie cinema guy.
Listen,
Um,
were you at the just this recent Days of the Dead that was in Vegas?
no, no, Chicago, no, not Chicago, Indianapolis. I'll be in Chicago next month with Days of the Dead.
Okay, because I just interviewed Michael St. Michael's, who was at the one in Vegas. And
Okay,
I interviewed him just days before he went to it. So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I ran
okay.
into him at Days. He's a cool ass dude.
I got the I had him on for the 5-year anniversary of the Greasy Strangler, because we're both in Cool as Hell 2 for James Balsamo, and we're both involved with The Witches of the Sands, for directed
Oh,
by Tony Martin. So my picture will be in that one as well.
oh, cool.
But yeah, Michael St. Michael's is a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Talk about who was the first. Okay, what's the first con you went to, and
I
how long ago was that?
think it was 2010. It was at a local one called. It's not around, but it's called Motor City Nightmares. Um, that was the first time I went to a convention, and then I found better conventions after that. So it was kind of like a starting off point.
Who was your first autograph seek at a convention? Do you
At a
remember?
convention, yes, it was Tony Todd, and he was kind of a dick,
Okay.
so rubbed me the wrong way. Um, Probably because I didn't have tits, and he only wants to, I don't know,
You
fuck.
know, it's
So,
funny. I've never had a bad experience with a celebrity at a con yet, and
oh, really?
I'm knock on wood. I hope I never do. You know, I do know some people that's turned my show down out of pure ignorance, that I won't support at a con ever. You know,
Hmm.
but yeah. Like when somebody turns me down because I'm not involved with a major radio station, I'm like, well, you know what? It's free publicity for you, but you know what? I don't have to buy off your table and get a picture taken with you either. I can, go elsewhere where somebody will appreciate it better,
Yeah, right.
Yep. I've had that, but not at a con. Cons have been pretty good. I will say this, I enjoyed Horrorama more than I did Comic Con. Comic Con was great for cosplay. Cosplay was great at it. But I almost found the lineups were really huge at Comic Con. Like it took me 90 minutes in line to get Ron Perlman's autograph.
Oh shit.
Yep. And I was getting it for other people as well. So, but I noticed that, and nobody there was rude. However, I noticed a difference in tone on two of the guests. There were two guests there that came across as this was more than just a gig to them. They were having fun. One
Yeah.
was John Rhys Davies from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
He was having a blast. He would always ask everybody to come up to see him what they did for a living, ask where they're from. And he did something funny with me. He signed my Raiders of the Lost Ark Blu-ray. He put his arm around me for the photo and he went like this into my side to get me to react.
Oh wow.
And I did, and it was pretty funny. I enjoyed meeting him. And the other one was Corbin Burson. He was a lot of fun to meet, and I
What
guess
you get a major league signed? Did you get a major
yeah,
league? Yeah.
not Blu-ray. I got a picture of him from Major League signed, but
Oh,
um,
cool.
what was funny with him is he was there with his handler, and I guess his handler had taught him how to do selfies. And I've seen him there with his handler saying, I can get the hang of this. I'll be an expert at this before the end of the con.
Oh, great.
He was having fun. Now, that's not to say the other guests were bad. I think everybody was polite, but those two stood out to me as this was not just a payday, they were enjoying this.
Yeah.
One of the people that's supposed to be at Frightmare in the Falls, and I've never seen this before, is Mitch Markowitz from the hilarious House of Frightenstein. And I looked at the prices of people that's supposed to be at this event. His for autograph and photo op, free.
Oh wow. That's
That
impressive.
that strikes me as a guy who's made his money and just feels, he's fine. And he just does this because he enjoys getting out and meeting the fans. That's what that strikes me as.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if he's doing this for free, I'm putting him on my list of people to meet,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that blew my mind. But my con experiences were great. Who else did you meet there? Tony Todd was not your best experience.
Yeah, no. But probably throughout the years, my favorite guest I've ever met is probably Udo Kier. He's the coolest.
Wow.
Loves sushi. That's all he wanted to talk about was sushi and what he had for lunch. So I'll listen. I'll
Mm-hmm.
I'll take his advice of what kind of roles to get.
He was in Suspiria.
That he was.
Yeah, I've interviewed
Been in everything.
4 people from
You name it.
Suspiria. Yeah. Wow. Who else made a good impression on you?
Uh just recently Eric Roberts. My wife
Oh,
wanted to meet him to get her Star 80 signed, and
love
he
Star 80.
took a picture with him. He sniffed my wife's hair. I ain't even mad. I'll let him. He's a cool dude. Yeah,
I
he's
wonder if I
awesome. I
have that.
expected him to be a lot taller than he actually was. He was like my size.
Just a minute. I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
Speaking of Eric Roberts, if I, yep, I do. I do.
What you got there?
This is It Wants Blood,
Okay.
and it's directed by James Balsamo. And he goes to cons and he gets people, asks people to be in his movies and whatnot and do these cameos. Michael St. Michael's is in one of his movies that I'm in as well. And I just shoot my scenes on my phone and he splices them into the movie. I don't have to leave here. It Wants Blood played at the Chinese theater. So my image was at the Chinese theater in Los Angeles, which I'm pretty stoked about. But It Wants Blood, I appear in it twice, being watched on a television by Eric Roberts.
Oh, cool.
So I'm in scenes with Eric Roberts, and I didn't even have to leave Fredericton to do it.
That's great.
So yeah, he plays an evil senator in this movie. So I've never met him. I wouldn't mind, but my friend Lisa, who I'm meeting in Toronto, worked with him in a movie. So and now officially I'm in a movie with him, in scenes with him, and we never ever laid eyes on each other physically before.
Very cool.
So he sniffed your wife's hair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a picture of that.
Anybody else that stood out to you?
Not necessarily. I don't know. I usually don't go to meet celebrities, to be fair. I used to, of course, like earlier on, but now it's just about basically meeting fans and pimping my own stuff out. So it's a hard sell sometimes with indie filmmakers because a lot of people don't want to take a chance. A lot of people, if you don't have somebody to if you don't have like a celebrity or whoever in your movie, they're not going to give you the time of day most of the time. But recently I've seen that to be changed. I don't know if it's like me coming up with better products, better films, better titles, better artwork, or if it's just people wanting to get out after being quarantined for so long and actually going to a show.
Hold that
But
thought.
either way,
I'm going to give you another example. This is not one I'm involved in, but
okay.
you just mentioned something that touched on something. I was in the record store because I still buy physical media, and I saw a Blu-ray in there. I never heard of this film. I don't know anybody in it. And I've already reached out to get somebody for an interview that's coming on in November. And this is just a film that jumped out at me because of its title in the record store. And when I went up and asked the clerk about this film, she said that this is the longest it's been in. They've gotten it in 5 times because it keeps selling.
Dead Dicks.
Dead Dicks. I got the ultimate Canadian edition. That grabbed me. You know what this is about? It's a horror comedy. No, actually, the title character's name is Dick. But what it's about is a brother and a sister. The sister is moving ahead with her job. She got a promotion, but she doesn't know how to tell her brother because her brother lives in an apartment. He's very recluse, and he's suicidal. And she gets this frantic phone call from him to come to his apartment. And she shows up. She's trying to find him. She has to turn off his stereo because the downstairs neighbors complaining, and she's trying to find him. She opens the closet door, and there he is hanging. Now the film opens with a shot of him smothering himself in a paper bag,
Mm.
but he also turns the coffee maker on. There's a reason why he turns the coffee maker on. She finds him hanging in the closet, and she's bawling her eyes out, and then she hears a voice behind him and sees him show up with a bowl of cereal. It's her brother. And she's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Every time he kills himself, he comes back to life, but his body's still there dead. He's got like 4 dead bodies of himself in the apartment.
Uh-huh.
And the bizarre thing is, on this bedroom wall, there what looks like a giant vagina that he keeps being reborn through.
Huh.
How weird and screwed up is that? Can you see why I bought this without even knowing anything about this?
I'm into it. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It is a bizarre movie. The climax ending of the film, which I won't give away, is a great payoff. It's got a lot of humor in it. I mean, one of the ways he killed himself apparently was dropping a toaster in the bathtub with himself.
Oh yeah.
And well, she has to cut the bodies up, kind of a reminiscent of Miss 45.
Yep.
I
Right.
love Miss 45.
Me too. I just watched that for the first time a couple weeks ago. That movie is brilliant. I loved it.
I'll hold that thought. I'll come back to Miss 45, but she's sawing the body up, and this guy can't look at it, because he's squeamish. But
Yeah.
she goes, "Don't you dare throw up." "I'm not gonna throw up. Don't you dare." He throws up. Anyway, the bathtub scene. He says, "Will this still work?" And she says, "What? The toaster. Will it still work?" You see, the reason he set the coffee at the beginning of the movie, he smothers himself, but he had coffee ready for when his new body comes. So we could have coffee. The
All paid
movie,
off.
yeah, it's funny. It's got some serious moments in it as well between the brother and sister. And you could tell he's weak, but she's strong emotionally. But this has got a lot of bizarre humor in it. And this was example of something. There's no names in this movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is and it's Canadian, which I love. And this is one hell of a bizarre movie. I recommend checking this out. It's called
Well,
Dead Dicks. Yeah.
very cool.
Going back to Miss 45, I discovered that movie when I first saw Terror in the Aisles,
Okay.
that documentary about horror films.
Yeah.
And I saw that scene where she's being surrounded by the gang and she blows them all the way. And I was fascinated with it. I think I was very smitten with Zoe Tamerlis Lund, which is not hard to do.
Yeah.
And I went seeking out for her autograph at one point at the end of the 90s. And when I went to seek it out, I found out she had passed away a short time before my search. She passed away of a drug overdose in April of 1999 at the age of 37. I told you I do tribute interviews when people passed away. First tribute interview I ever did was on Zoe, because I wanted to do something with Miss 45. And the 6th interview on my show, that was in 2015, was with her widow, Robert Lund. He's been on my show 4 times now, and he's planning to come on a 5th. And for the longest time, that first tribute was my most listened to interview on YouTube. It has since been surpassed by Vincent Castellanos from Anaconda.
Mm-hmm.
But my Zoe tributes are all doing well. It's like, and I said to him, I'm still in touch with Robert. I said people are fascinated with with Zoe, and we marvel at it, because he says he still gets stuff. He sent me on an email um, snippets of her diary. So I've got some handwriting of her,
Oh, cool.
Yep. Um, I think she was stunning. I mean, she was in Bad Lieutenant with red hair.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought she was stunning. But I'm going to tell you the stories that he told. They're some of the best interviews I did. I think one of the funniest accounts is that because they went to see the movie Brazil by Terry Gilliam at a theater, and they were on acid when they were watching it. Now that movie is bizarre to watch when you're not on anything.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm very fascinated with Zoe Tamerlis Alonso. Love Miss 45, and that was my first tribute, and that was when I discovered I could still make these people part of my show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And because they're not alive to do it, and I've had
Uh-huh.
Hitchcock's granddaughter, Audrey Hepburn's eldest son has been on here, Sarah Karloff, Bela Lugosi Jr., people like that.
Mm.
Roddy Piper's son and daughter were both on here.
Oh, cool.
Yep, because wrestling today sucks. So I prefer to talk to people that were at an era when wrestling was actually good. So that is something I do. So unfortunately, with cons, when somebody's gone, it's like, to me, I think there's a shelf life on me for cons, because once a lot of the veterans are gone, it's like I'm not caught up on a lot of the newbies. So unless Emma Stone's going to suddenly get bored and show up at one, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, because I'm certainly not into a lot too many of the recent horror films, so I would know a lot of them, except for the Greasy Strangler with Michael St. Michaels. I go meet him, of course. So
Exactly.
yeah, but was Tony Todd? Do I dare ask? Is he the only bad experience you had?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't think of another one, but even that he wasn't the worst. Just just kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember anybody else who was terrible. But
But
yeah,
well, you always hope that people are nice. I don't think I react very well if somebody were rude to me. It's like, but so far, knock on wood, all good.
yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I think that I need to start getting ready for some other stuff. I gotta go to my house that I'm working on.
what do
Um,
you mean house you're working on? You're in a house.
yeah, I know. We're my wife and I are this is a rental house, so we're getting a house and it has some fixing up to do.
Okay,
Yesterday
I can.
I shredded a whole bunch of wallpaper by myself. So we gotta get
I'm
on that.
reading between the lines here. You're going to leave the cat here, aren't you?
I am not. I'm taking the cat with me.
Okay, because he will track you down and whip your ass if you do not take him with you. And
But
he gets first dibs on what room he wants,
oh, of course, everybody
because
knows that.
he's related to the King of Beast.
Hey, I want to really thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. It's been a great time. Usually, I don't talk for more than uh, how long we talked, but this is a great conversation, and
I enjoyed it.
thank you.
Well, where can people reach you? Do you have a website that's got your movies on it and
I
whatnot?
used to have a website, and I have to recreate it. But right now, I have a Store Envy page, and
Hmm.
it's rockbottomvideo.storeenvy.com. You can purchase my films and T-shirts there.
Hmm.
Or if you're in the States, look for me at a con. I'll be at Days of the Dead next month, and hopefully some more film festivals will show Feaster Sunday, and
Feaster
obviously
Sunday.
13 Fanboy as well.
Who's
So,
gonna be at Days of the Dead that you wanna
oh,
encounter?
guess who's gonna be there? Christy Swanson. So,
Ah,
I'll
you
get
should
to.
tell the promoter, give me my table next to hers.
Also, Dennis Christopher, who I'm excited to meet because I have
Hmm.
him on my arm right here from Fade to Black. Um, yeah, he's gonna be there. I
Fade to
think Dreyfus
Black.
is gonna be there. You know
Fade to
Fade to Black, right?
Yeah, I do. It's
Yeah,
been a while since I heard that title.
one of my favorite, if not the best slasher movies I've
You
ever
go
seen.
meet Richard Dreyfuss?
No, I'm not gonna stand in line for 4 hours. That's
Oh
how it
man,
was last time.
Richard Dreyfuss would be a guy to me. I know somebody that met him at a con said nothing but good things.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
love Richard Dreyfuss, but I don't wait in lines at all. If it's more than 10 minutes, piss right off, you know? So,
yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to see CJ Graham at Frightmare in the Falls, and I'm going to have an interesting encounter. Because I'm going to wear this shirt and introduce myself as a co-producer on his film. And since
very
I'm a
cool.
co-producer, it makes me his boss.
Technically.
So I'm going to tell him to go get my coffee. I'm going to tell him to, get everything set up for me. In fact, why was I booking my hotel? He should have been doing that.
Exactly. You're
Why
royalty.
did why did I get a rental car? I gotta get CJ up on this. He should be doing that. I got something special for him though, because I'm good friends with Nancy McLaughlin, and I said to her, I said, "Do you mind if I put you on speakerphone when I meet him, so you could talk to him about his roadside etiquette?"
Right
She
on.
said she loves that idea, so I might do that. So anyway, it was wonderful having you on here today. I love doing these deep dives for this movie, and here we are. 13 Fanboy premieres today.
Mhm.
I envy the fact that you're going to get to see it. Um, unless my brother calls me and tells me that they got it, I don't know what they have there, but for whatever stream, whatever. But I do got to work tonight though, so it'll be. I
Yeah.
don't know. I could be pushing my boundaries of, but it doesn't matter when I show up to clean, as long as I get my work done. But it can be long hours in some of these buildings, so
Mm.
I
Well, I
might.
hope you get to see it soon.
I don't know, but my picture's in it. It's covered in blood. It's a scene with Tracy Savage. I'm happy about that. My name's at the beginning and at the end of the movie. Thumbs up already.
I'll keep an eye out tonight. So,
Well, Troy Elke and Christy Fontenot have already, I guess they've already seen it, and they've already verified that my picture's like front and center. And I'm like, okay, I like that. I like the sound of that. For a guy that works late 16 hours cleaning buildings because there's other people that just don't show up and do their job, hearing this from these people makes me feel good. I like
cool.
that. I'm going to be in the part of this movie that's streaming. That makes me smile.
Right on.
Skittles
Cool.
doesn't care.
Nor should he.
Well, God bless you, man. Thank you so much for coming on here today. And yes, anybody hear this, check out Feaster Sunday.
Right on.
Feaster Sunday. Yes, there's something to check out. So yes, and maybe you can get to that point where you could say get Debbie Sue in one of your movies and then
Comes full circle. There you go.
direct her.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you
Thanks
for
a lot.
thank you for getting in touch with me. It was an honor having you on here today. It's been a lot of fun. You
Yes,
got
sir.
the coolest background, I gotta say.
Well, thank you so much.
You
I
better
appreciate
take those beads with you when you
I'm
go.
taking
That's
everything. You have no idea.
you gotta take the cat.
Everything.
Yeah, because he'll hunt your ass down if you don't take him.
I know.
You think you're getting bit now, you don't want to cross your kitty.
Reminds me, I have to feed him. All right, man.
Absolutely. Take
I will.
care. Enjoy the premiere tonight.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely. God bless. You take care.
Cheers.
Yep. Bye bye.